All right, guys, welcome back to the Independent Investor Channel. My name is Ryan. I'm always intrigued by the psychology of the stock market. It's just amazing to me how many people attempt to get started in the stock market only to start and quit. They'll start and they'll quit. They'll start and they'll quit. And this consumes the majority of people who are ill-prepared to enter into the stock market, especially when times like these pop up and volatility really rears its ugly head, and it pushes a lot of people who are unprepared out of the stock market. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to break bad habits, and these are going to be 3 things that are really going to help you in deploying an investment plan that's going to hold true over the course of your life. We don't want to do anything that we're not going to do right, okay? I would rather see investors not even invest until they are prepared to enter into the stock market from a psychological perspective and making sure that they're giving themselves the best chance to succeed in the market. So we'll jump right into it. Number 1 I've got earmarked here is stick to the plan. And as cliche as that may sound, it's super important how I find a lot of investors, they're satisfied with their plan while the plan is working, okay? And then when the plan doesn't seem to be working, they throw it away and they quit, okay? Now, you have to understand that your plan can be dynamic. It can change and it can shift and it can evolve over time as your life changes. Life events are going to happen. You're going to buy a home. You're going to grow a family. You're going to increase your career stature. Things like that that are going to naturally occur over the course of your life. So why are you trying to deploy a plan at 18, 19, 20, early 20s and expecting that plan to hold the test of time going forward? It's really kind of comes down to your expectations about how successful your plan can be. But especially during times like these where volatile markets kick up, everybody wants to start to call into question the integrity of their plan. Is my plan strong enough? And it can really just be as simple as a mission statement, answering the very simple question as to why you invest. Very, very simple to sit down and write a few sentences as to why you're initiating this plan. No matter where you are in life, no matter what age you are, you certainly have to have an idea of justifying and answering the very simple question of why we invest. And it's amazing to me how the masses will in fact fail. And getting to the root of why this is, I really feel that a lot of people are investing on false pretenses. It's very, very simple to pick up and download a Robinhood app and just start investing within a few minutes. And I think a lot of those investors may potentially be ill-prepared to actually succeed in this market, which is ultimately where we're looking to take new investors, okay? Number 2 is super, super important, and it is to be constructively critical. Be very careful with this language. I find all the time that people are self-deprecating or negative in nature. When they want to initiate their human nature, bad things start to happen, and they start to question all the things and all the decisions, and they start to unravel those decisions to justify that they've made a bad decision, and therefore they need to change that decision. Being constructively critical is very, very important when it comes to all aspects of financial discipline. Let me give you an example. How many people out there have actually put pen to paper when it comes to your expenditures? In other words, how many people out there have actually done a budget? It's very, very eye-opening, and I think a lot of people go about their day-to-day activity and they're conveniently naive with regard to their spending habits. I make enough to do this. I make more than enough to do this. I can justify this expenditure because I make this, and therefore I should have that. But when you start to put pen to paper, I think it really benefits all people if they're very, very in tune with what their inflow is and what their actual outflow is. And I'm not saying you eliminate all luxuries. I'm not saying that. But if you're spending $600 or $700 or $800 a month, I know people who do it at the restaurants, maybe you can cut that in half. For a lot of you guys, that's almost a max funding per month to a Roth IRA. And this is becoming constructively critical. You sit down and you objectively look at your budget and where you can potentially cut back. When was the last time you looked at your insurance company, homeowner's insurance, auto policy, right? You notice how over time those things creep up over time and you just accept it as commonplace? Shop it out. You might be amazed at how much savings you can put away for yourself over the course of a year. Be constructively critical. And when we're talking specifically about your investment program, okay, you're gonna make mistakes. It's okay. Let it go. The best advice that I can give you with regard to deploying any type of financial risk or taking some risk in the stock market is to have an extremely short memory. But don't ever, ever cut so deep to where you just take the entire program and push it to the side. Be constructively critical. Make sure that you acknowledge when you make a potential mistake, and others may look at it and say, you're fine. That's not a mistake at all. But you may look at it and say, you know what? I had an instinct to do this and I didn't, I should have. Or I had an instinct to do this, I did it, and maybe I should have done it a little bit different. That will create a mindset of success for you going forward to where you are always looking to evolve with your program. If you're looking to be static in your program, you're probably going to live life from starting to end, and you'll be predestined to have render whatever results your effort renders at the end of your life, and you're referring back on your life. But in reflection, you want to look back and say, you know what? I was critical at all steps in a constructive manner. I wasn't self-deprecating. I knew I could do it. I knew I didn't have the ample knowledge to do it, but I was willing to change and evolve and learn over time. And I feel this is a super, super important aspect of the psychology behind investing. And I feel like a lot of beginning investors especially lack this ability to be constructively critical over their own program, the decisions that they make, and especially the results that those decisions render. The last thing I want to touch on here is very, very difficult. And I think as emotional people, I think we want to react when we go to a sporting event and the team that we're rooting for does a good thing. We want to jump out of our seat and yell at the top of our lungs. You know, we want to go about and engage in our personal relationships in our families, you know, with love and compassion and emotion. With investing, I think the only emotion that really is encouraged for me is to stay positive. It's to stay positive. It's amazing to me how many people will come to me and say, Ryan, the stock market is terrible right now. I'm scared. What do we do? Right? I think for number one, I would visit number one and number two. Those two things to break those bad habits will really help you. But to stay positive in the market, be proud of the fact that you are an investor. Stay positive in all market conditions so you can make your decisions with a clear mind and a clear conscience when you are looking to get it to where it is you want to be in life. It's so important. And there's a common thread across all people that I meet that are successful in life. They typically have a positive outlook on everything that they do, and they have an extremely short memory for shortcomings in their life. They're just positive thinkers all the time. And this is super, super important. When everybody else is fearful in the market, try taking an opposite approach and looking at it from a different lens. It's a short term. What good is going to come out of me worrying about it? How can I take advantage of this situation? Am I being provided an opportunity here? Have I properly safeguarded some cash on the side so this downturn and volatility in the stock market really isn't as bad as what it seems to be at this point? Am I going to refer back on this little blip on the radar as just being that, a small fragment of time that is indicative of anything else we've ever dealt with like this in history, and it too shall pass. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to these Breaking Bad Habits. I hope you can resonate with any one or all of these to help you deploy your own investment procedure and plan for yourself We want to make sure that the masses are succeeding, not that the masses are starting on their investment only to stop and drop out 6 months, a year down the line. We want to make sure that we're staying steadfast on our program throughout the course of our life. Investing should be something that stays with you, and it's something that you should participate in your entire life. And don't get caught up on a couple weeks or a couple months of volatility to drive your decision making when it comes to your investment posture, because it is that important to stay the course over the long term. Guys, you want to make sure and subscribe to the channel, help us support the message. Leave your comments at the bottom of the video. Share the message with anybody out there that you know can benefit from this information that we're putting through. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the message, and good luck in your investment future.